Centaurus. With the upper body of a human and the lower body of a horse, centaurs are iconic creatures from Greek mythology. They embody the conflict between civilization and barbarism, often portrayed as wild and unruly beings who succumb to their base instincts. However, not all centaurs were depicted as savage. Chiron, one of the most famous centaurs, was known for his wisdom and kindness. Unlike his violent counterparts, Chiron was a skilled healer, teacher, and mentor to heroes like Achilles, Hercules, and Jason. The myth of the centaur likely originated from early encounters between horse-riding nomads and settled agricultural societies, inspiring tales of half-human, half-horse creatures. In art, centaurs are often depicted in battle scenes, symbolizing the tension between reason and instinct. Their duality has made them enduring symbols of humanity's struggle to reconcile its intellectual and animalistic natures. Cerberus, the three-headed dog of Greek mythology, guards the gates of the underworld to ensure that the dead remain in and the living stay out. Each of its heads is thought to symbolize the past, present, and future, or birth, life, and death. Descriptions of Cerberus vary, but it is often depicted with a mane of snakes and a serpent for a tail, adding to its fearsome image. One of the most famous stories involving Cerberus is Hercules' 12th labor, in which the hero was tasked with capturing the beast and bringing it to the surface. With Hades' permission, Hercules subdued Cerberus without weapons, showcasing his strength and resolve. Cerberus also appears in tales involving Orpheus, who used his musical skills to charm the creature into allowing him to pass. As a guardian of the boundary between life and death, Cerberus represents the inevitability of mortality and the challenges of crossing into the unknown. Chimera. The chimera is a monstrous hybrid from Greek mythology, composed of the body of a lion, a goat's head rising from its back, and a serpent for a tail. It is said to breathe fire and wreak havoc wherever it goes. The chimera is most famously associated with the hero Bellerophon, who was tasked with slaying the beast. Riding the winged horse Pegasus, Bellerophon attacked the chimera from the air, ultimately killing it with a spear. Symbolically, the chimera represents chaos and the unnatural. Its hybrid nature, a fusion of multiple animals, has led to its name being used to describe anything composed of incongruous parts. In scientific contexts, chimera refers to organisms with genetically distinct cells, drawing on the myth's theme of unnatural combinations. Dragon. Dragons are among the most versatile and iconic mythical creatures, appearing in nearly every culture's folklore. In Western traditions, dragons are typically massive, fire-breathing reptiles associated with greed, destruction, and chaos. They often hoard treasure in caves or atop mountains, and slaying a dragon is a common motif in heroic tales, symbolizing bravery and the triumph of good over evil. Eastern dragons, by contrast, are benevolent creatures tied to water and agriculture. In Chinese mythology, dragons are seen as wise, powerful, and protective, often bringing rain and prosperity. They are frequently depicted with long, serpentine bodies, whiskers, and antler-like horns. Fairy. Fairies are magical beings found in folklore across Europe, often depicted as small winged creatures with supernatural powers. In Irish and Scottish traditions, fairies are linked to the otherworld, a mystical realm parallel to our own. They are known for their capricious nature, sometimes aiding humans with gifts of magic or wisdom, but just as often causing mischief or harm. Fairies were believed to abduct humans, particularly children, and replace them with changelings. Offerings of milk or shiny objects were thought to appease these enigmatic beings. Despite their delicate appearance, fairies were feared and respected. In literature and modern media, fairies have evolved into symbols of magic and wonder, often depicted as guardians of nature or as mischievous tricksters. Fenrir. Fenrir, the great wolf from Norse mythology, is a symbol of chaos and destruction. Born to the trickster god Loki and the giantess Angerboda, Fenrir is prophesied to play a major role in Ragnarok, the apocalyptic end of the world. According to legend, the gods feared Fenrir's immense power and tried to bind him with chains, but Fenrir broke free each time. Eventually, the gods crafted a magical ribbon called Gleipnir, made from impossible elements such as the sound of a cat's footsteps and the roots of a mountain. Tricked into being bound, Fenrir bit off the hand of the god Tyr as he resisted captivity. During Ragnarok, Fenrir is destined to break free and devour Odin, the chief of the gods, before being slain by Odin's son Vidar. Jinn. Jinn, also known as genies, are supernatural beings from Middle Eastern mythology. Created from smokeless fire, they possess free will and exist in a realm parallel to humans. Jinn can be benevolent, malevolent, or neutral, and their interactions with humans often involve granting wishes. However, these wishes are frequently delivered with a twist, reflecting the jinn's cunning nature. In Islamic tradition, jinn are mentioned in the Quran as beings capable of faith or disbelief. Much like humans, they are said to inhabit desolate places and can become invisible at will. Golem. The golem is a legendary figure from Jewish folklore, often depicted as a humanoid creature made from clay or mud and brought to life through mystical rituals. The most famous golem story originates in 16th century Prague, where Rabbi Judah Loew is said to have created a golem to protect the Jewish community from persecution. Inscribed with the Hebrew word emet, meaning truth, on its forehead, the golem would obey its creator's commands. However, if the first letter of emet was erased, leaving met, which translates to death, the golem would deactivate. Griffin. A majestic creature combining the body of a lion and the head and wings of an eagle, the griffin symbolizes strength and vigilance. In mythology, griffins were said to guard treasures and sacred places, often depicted as protectors of divine objects. Their dual nature, part terrestrial, part celestial, represents the balance between the earthly and the divine. Griffins were popular in ancient art, particularly in the Middle East and Greece, where they adorned temples and tombs as guardians. Harpy. Harpies, originating from Greek mythology, are part bird, part woman creatures, often described as agents of punishment or torment. Known for their shrill cries and swift wings, they were believed to snatch food and torment the guilty, carrying them to the Furies. Depicted as symbols of chaos and unrelenting pursuit, harpies were feared for their relentless nature. In modern interpretations, they often serve as metaphors for vengeance and justice, embodying the power of retribution.